Welcome to episode 6 of my Te Araroa series, where I attempt to hike the 3,000 kilometer length of New Zealand. So far, my husband Brian and I have hiked 413 kilometers from the southern terminus all the way to Wānaka. In this episode, episode 6, we hike 197 kilometers over 7 days. In this section, it feels like we are hiking from one stunning lake to the next. We climb up incredible alpine ridges, walk through crystal clear streams, and catch our first glimpses of the tallest mountain in the country. We also have a variety of experiences, from unique lodging to assisting with invasive species control and walking one of the great rides of New Zealand. I enter this section with a big question mark looming over me. Will I get my hay fever symptoms under control? It's a diverse and epic week here on trail, and I can't wait to share it with you. Okay, let's get into the episode. Today we are starting this next section from Wānaka to Lake Tekapo. This stretch should take us about a week to complete. If you watched episode 5, you'll recall that while in Wānaka, I decided that if I wasn't able to manage my allergy symptoms on this next stretch of trail, I was going to quit. I purchased 2 new medications at the pharmacy in Wānaka and was diligently following the instructions. I was feeling a mixture of cautious optimism and fear of the unknown this morning. We've been going for about 13 kilometers today. It's been very easy hiking. It's not even noon yet. It is quite common on Te Araroa to hike stretches of trail that go from town to town. This allows for the trail to connect one backcountry segment to the next. The trail creators usually utilized an existing community multi-use path to connect up the routes. This meant that often when we were hiking town to town, we had a nice, cruisy, and well-maintained path to follow. This strategy isn't just common on the TA, it is a common method utilized by many long-distance trails around the world, especially ones spanning the entire length of a country. We have done 20 kilometers in 4.5 hours. So our pace has been great today. It's about 1 p.m. now, and we're 5 kilometers from Lake Hauia. So we'll be there earlier than we thought. We aimed like 6 p.m. We'll probably be there in an hour. So we'll be able to resupply for our next stretch and check into our Airbnb and get to enjoy it tonight. I've been doing well with my allergies today. I've only blown my nose like 5 times, which was so much less than every other day. So either I'm just like still riding the wave of having a day off of trail, or my new medication is really helping. I hope that's what it is. Here's our lovely Airbnb. So spacious and beautiful. Here's the bedroom. And look at the bathroom. Oh, it's gonna be the nicest shower. I just feel so grateful when we stay at beautiful places like this, and the house is really nice, and it's just so glorious. Welcome back to the TA, everyone. Our pace is not on track to finish the trail in 5 months. We are going to have to speed up, and I think after we've been working out all these kinks for the first month, we're hoping that we can just sort of get into a rhythm and get cruisy in the trail, but we're definitely gonna have to do 30-kilometer days and even attempt to do 40-kilometer days when possible, because we've done about 400 kilometers in a month and we have 5 months. So we'll be 1,000 kilometers short if we stay at this pace. This is definitely the hardest through hike I've ever experienced, because usually it's always a bit of a disaster at the start, honestly, because you're figuring things out and like figuring out the trail. But I've never felt this bad and felt like I couldn't figure out like my formula this much. It's taking so much time. It's a very challenging trail. Extremely rewarding, very adventurous and wild and beautiful, and also like a lot of towns you get to see too. It's like such a cool mixture. But wow, is it hard. Good morning. We are just leaving Lake Hawea and we are about to climb into these mountains you can see in front of us. So it's going to be a big day, but we're feeling rested and well fed. Just ran into a subscriber. That was really cool. Hello, nice to meet you. Lake Hawea was visited seasonally by Maori, the indigenous people of Aotearoa, New Zealand. Please excuse my pronunciation of the Maori language here. I tried my best. Wow. They established several mahinga kai, food gathering centers, around the shores of the lake. Food sources included weka, a type of bird, fern root, eels, kia, and pigeons, also birds, among others. As well as being a food gathering area, it was also a wahanga, a school of learning, where tohunga, learned people, were taught the history and waka papa, genealogies of their ancestors. We have made a big chunk of our climb, our first climb. We have 2 major climbs today. It is so hot and I'm extremely thirsty. Wearing the pants seems to be a must for me with the grass, but I'm definitely hotter than in the shorts. This is great. We had a nice water break and lunch hangout at the hut. So that was slightly off trail. So now we're gaining Breast Hill and it's just an absolutely epic day here. Wow, we're almost at the summit. This ridge, climbing this ridge is just so incredibly stunning. I can't believe it. It's so nice. Wow, this is incredible. Yeah. Wow. My allergies are not bad today. My new medication seems to be working. We are on our descent into the river valley now. It's 6 p.m. and I can't even explain to you how hot it is at 6 p.m. It feels like it's the hottest it's been all day. Very steep. We made it to camp. What an adventurous day. The last kilometer has been so adventurous. I lost my Canuck down the slope, had to go find it. It had drifted downstream and just got stuck on a shallow rock. I just got so lucky. It's completely intact still. I can't believe it. These things are indestructible. Then we got here, we found our spot, got everything set up, and I was missing Bella. Oh. But we had dropped our packs like 20 meters away and had scoped out the spot and then went and got them. And the only time basically every single time I put my pack on, I always check for Stella and Bella. And I probably didn't this time because we were so close to camp. And she was over there, so I just had to go do admission to find her, but oh, I was so happy to find her. So now we are finally settled, hopefully, at camp. It's this perfect, beautiful spot. We picked the dirt spot, so not to disturb the moss. The river's down below us, beautiful sound, we're all alone. No grass in sight. That's the best part. Brian.
Yeah.
How are the sandflies here?
They are not good. They are thumbs down. I will say, once you're all covered, they don't really bother you at all. It's just the amount that are going to be inside and near the tent is going to be bananas. But I like it. Like, if you're just dressed like this, it's no problemo.
It's true. Looking good with garbage bag.
Look at this. Extra tucked.
In honor of my Canuck surviving a huge ordeal, this week's gear segment is going to cover my water filtration setup. Several of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years initially recommended this setup to me. Thank you for that because it's the best. Starting with the filter, I have the Sawyer Squeeze filter. I did try the mini version of this filter, but the regular size is much faster and easier to use. In my opinion, it's worth the wait. I learned from fellow PCT hikers about the blue connector piece that allows you to screw the clean end of the filter onto a smart water bottle or equivalent. I usually just buy the smart water bottle from a grocery store or gas station. And for the dirty water sack, I have a 2-liter Canuck Vecto water container. This thing is virtually indestructible and according to the Canuck website has a breaking point of 220 pounds. It's lightweight and compact, easy to fill and easy to clean. We set up the entire system as a gravity filtration setup by hanging it on something we find in the environment. But it's also really easy to squeeze the Canuck by rolling down the top to speed up the filtration if you're short on time. The water always tastes so good and the entire setup is lightweight and compact. If you want to get your own setup like this, you can find the links in the description of this video. Good morning. We had a glorious sleep here. My allergies feel okay. We have a big day today, 30 kilometers, and I think about 3/4 of the day is a climb. Like we're climbing up this river valley, and then right at the end it's this big extra climb. We go up pretty high, and we have a big river ford tomorrow morning. So our goal is to camp as close to that river ford as we can get so that we can hit it in the morning before there's been much sun, therefore much like snow or glacial melt. So that's the plan. We're gonna get going now. We're almost fully packed up. It's already midday and we are still making our way up this river valley. It is a slow trail. So we've done maybe 8 or 9 kilometers. So it can feel a little discouraging when your pace is a lot slower than your norm. We are up in the subalpine now, and it's so easy, I find, to like just keep motivating myself when the views are like this. I'm like, ooh, I want to see what's around this corner. I love the expansive feeling and the views in the alpine. I think that's one of the major reasons I love it. is like, it's just so expansive. We made the saddle! Yes! So windy. It's like probably close to 7 p.m. We did it, and now it's time to drop down as far as we can get tonight. At this point, my allergy symptoms were completely under control, and I finally felt like I was hitting my groove. This was such an important moment for me on this hike. After 27 days of never quite feeling like myself, it was incredible to actually feel like the strong and capable hiker I know I am. Hello, we made it into this very rustic hut. It is a private hut. So our original plan was to go a few more kilometers, but when we took a break here and we looked ahead at the map, it wasn't clear if we're actually allowed to camp there or not. But here it's obvious. They say right here, we can use it as TA hikers, we just need to pay. So we've decided we're gonna stay here. Let me show you around the hut. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
Brian's sending the inReach message. As you can see, it's in a very beautiful location. So nice, and it's very cute and rustic. All right, the first thing you see are 6 bunks. And then to your right is the table, the instructions on how to pay. And there's a couple chairs here, some pots. You can see through the floorboards. Here's where I think the sand flies can get in. Morning. It was definitely cozy in the hut last night. I wore my bug net on my face. It wasn't as horrible as I expected. And it is 10 to 7, so we are getting going. 40 kilometers to do today. I think that makes it our biggest day yet, so we need to be focused. It's chilly still, as you can probably tell, so it's a perfect time to start. Brian and I met the owners of the farm and the private hut. They explained to us that they have Merino sheep that graze high up in the mountains here. Merino sheep have a specific wool that helps them manage colder temperatures, so they thrive in alpine environments. The farmers were heading out to move the sheep to another pasture and told us they use drones to help with herding the sheep. We were of course very interested in that. You can find their merino wool in products such as DeVold sweaters. It was really cool getting to meet the farmers and hear a bit about how they take care of their sheep and where they sell their wool. As we were dropping down into the river valley, we crossed paths with the snail pilgrims again. They were the ones who we met on day 9 in episode 3 of this series. They are both family doctors and had shared some of their insights with me about my hay fever. I updated them on my allergies, and they were so happy to hear that I had developed an effective strategy with a combination of medications, new hiking pants, and efforts to camp away from the grass. What a joy to see them. Whenever we know we have a river ford ahead of us on trail, we do some preparative information gathering. We read through the comments on Far Out and note time of year and time of day that the hikers crossed and then how deep it was on them. We are especially interested in recent comments or conversations with hikers we pass on trail. We also look at the weather forecast to see if there is any rain either where we are hiking or upstream of where we are hiking. We are coming up on our major river ford for the day. We've crossed like 10 sobos today, so we've had a few chats, which This has definitely slowed us down a little bit. The nice thing about running into people going the opposite direction is they told us where they crossed and how deep it got on them. That is extremely valuable information. Sooner we cross it, the better, because if you look up high in the mountains here, there is still snow. So as the sun hits the snow, it melts and the water level rises. Here we go. Wow, it looks pretty deep from here. Okay, so this line is where they crossed, just above from this rock here, and they said it was knee deep. When we are actually fording, we sometimes switch to our camp sandals to cross. However, there are many reasons why we opt to keep our hiking shoes on when crossing. If the river is deep enough and fast moving enough, I always feel more comfortable using my shoes with the best grip on the sole. The type of riverbed also affects my decision. If it's larger stones that might shift as I walk or slippery stones, I like to wear my hiking shoes. This river met the criteria for me to leave my hiking shoes on while crossing. Made it across. The water came to here on me. Brian, where'd it get to on you?
Think about there.
We are on our long, gradual climb up this river valley. Views are spectacular. The sun is hot, and our pace is good. We're getting pretty confident now. We'll make it, and it'll be our longest day yet, 40 kilometers. And if we can start doing this sometimes, then our chances of completing this trail are gonna start increasing. If you've been following along on this journey, you'll know there are low lows, but then there's high highs. And even when I'm in the lows, I know they're all part of it, and that's what keeps me going. And that's what makes this experience so rich and beautiful.
Status?
Oh, completely epic. So stunning. We're getting so close. We are in the forest now on our final descent down to the lake, and once we reach the road, we will be headed to the lodge. We are on our final little road walk. It's not part of the trail, but we have to do this to get to our lodging, Ohau Lodge. We heard it's nice from other hikers, so that's exciting. And we've now hiked 37.5 kilometers today. So many kilometers. And I'm feeling pretty good. Brian, how are you feeling?
I'm actually feeling really good. Feet are
Great.
good, body's good, spirit is good. Stomach ready for food.
We're almost done, and it is an absolutely spectacular place. Oh yeah. Feels so good to be here. We made it. Good morning from Lake Tekapo Lodge. We had our breakfast at 7:30. 7:30 to 8:30 was breakfast. And now we're just finishing packing up. We had planned that today was going to be 25 kilometers to Twizel, but we were wrong. It's 35 kilometers. So it's about 10 a.m. and we're going to start now. But we are both tired this morning. Like, I got back from breakfast and lied in bed and I was like, I'm too tired to go on. Because we did 40 kilometers yesterday. But we can do it. Sometimes you just gotta get going again. That's the plan. Just finishing packing up.
Yeah.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Earlier in this episode, I explained that long-distance trails like this one often connect one backcountry section to the next through community trails. In this case, from Lake Tekapo to Lake Tekapo, the TA links into a popular cycling track. This means that for the next 3 days, we are going to be on a multi-use path that is most popular amongst bikers. Something we hadn't realized until after we started the TA is that there are actually many segments like this one along the trail, where many TA hikers opt for a method other than walking. In this case, it is popular amongst TA hikers to rent a bicycle and pay for a service to get their bags shuttled from one destination to the next along the trail. Since this is an 87-kilometer stretch of bike path, hikers that opt to bike it usually take 2 days. Brian and I both prefer traveling by foot, so we opted to hike it, which will take us 3 days. It was really interesting to cross paths with so many cyclists who were mostly cycling the entire route called the Alps to Ocean Cycle Trail. This trail is a 371 long cycling route spanning from Aotearoa, Mount Cook, to the coastal town of Oamaru. This trail usually takes 5 to 7 days to ride the full length. On foot, we are experiencing the 87-kilometer stretch of the Alps to Ocean Cycle Trail from Tekapo Lodge to Lake Tekapo, which makes up approximately 23% of the entire cycling track. We are taking a break. We've got 18 kilometers to go. Hello. So 20 kilometers for 4 hours. So we'll probably arrive around 7 p.m. Nine kilometers to go.
Oh, awesome.
It's really cute. Yay, we made it. We're tired. Good morning, it's day 31, I'm pretty sure. And we walked across the street from our lodging, went to Poppy's Cafe for a coffee, and got a few things done on our phone. It's 11 a.m. now. We only have 22 kilometers today, so it's like a chill day. Since this 3-day section is technically on a biking track and not a hiking track, many hikers choose to skip it. It can be monotonous to hike on a long, flat, relatively boring track. But that did not turn out to be the case today. As we got a few kilometers into our day, we realized we were seeing New Zealand's tallest mountain in the distance, Aotearoa Mount Cook. As we walked closer to the mountain, we both felt so grateful we hadn't skipped this section. It was magical. We came across this bin and I thought maybe it was trail magic, but it's something even cooler. It is a request for hikers to cut down wildling pines because they are an invasive species, and they've left information on how to do it, gloves and saws. So we can actually help with the conservation efforts in the area while we walk through, which is so cool and so awesome that we get to contribute in this way. So we've read through all the instructions. We know what we need to cut down, how to do it, and there's a bin at the end of this stretch where we can drop off everything so that southbound hikers can take it and bring it to this bin. So we are going to do it.
Got my gloves.
Nice. Seedling.
So just leave it on the ground, they said.
Yeah. Hiker before us has done this. Brian's gone in a little ways to get a cluster. They looked a bit bigger. We are counting how many we've done because in the book where we have to drop the saw in the next bin, we have to write down how many we cut. I'm doing it now.
Great.
All right, we made it to camp. We set up. Brian is just finishing setting up the tent and wiping out all of the sand flies that are inside. And I am making us dinner. So let me show you what I'm making. First off, we've got mashed potatoes. I've just poured some water in there. Cinderella instant mashed potatoes. 100% potato. And then what I'm pouring in next is this Mexican style tomato and black bean soup with corn and paprika. Okay, here it is with the soup. Our dinner was delicious, and then we finished getting everything in here, setting up our beds. Okay, good night. See you tomorrow. Good morning. Day 32 here on Te Araroa. We have, I think, about 30 kilometers to hike today. I found the bin.
Perfect.
So how many did you do?
50.
Okay, that's great. I think we had that stuff for maybe 5 or 7 kilometers, something like that. And we feel happy we could contribute in some way. Now that it's our third day walking along this long and flat path, I was starting to feel the boredom creep in. The first 2 days had stunning views to occupy our minds, but today was pretty mundane. At one point, I just laid down on the ground in my poncho in the sprinkling rain because I was bored of walking. Our trail friend appeared seemingly out of nowhere on his rented bicycle with the biggest smile. After he chatted with us for a few minutes, he pedaled away and it seemed effortless. I must admit I was envious at that moment, but it was nothing a break and snack couldn't fix. We got back into our rhythm and together finished the final kilometers of the Alps to Ocean part of our thru hike and arrived in the town of Lake Tekapo. We stayed at a hostel in Lake Tekapo. We went out for dinner, bought a resupply at the grocery store, and then headed to bed. We plan to start the next section tomorrow, so we need our rest. In our next section, we are back on backcountry hiking trails and we head up to the highest point on the entire Te Araroa. You won't want to miss it. See you then. Thanks so much for watching.